A very good evening to you. You're watching Primetime News. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
I'm Chaturanga Puarachi.
Jamaica's Usain Bolt bolted to the finish line to win his 8th Olympic gold in the men's 200-meter finals in Rio in just 19.78 seconds.
How did he freshen up the Olympic records? Details on Sports First.
But before that, let's now take a look at tonight's headlines.
President issues stern warning in Matara.
දූෂණයට වංචාවට හොරකමට නාස්තියට ඔටුනු පළඳපු මිනිස්සුන්ට මේ රටේ නැවත ආණ්ඩුවක් කරන්න අපි කිසි දවසක ඉඩ තියන්නේ නැහැ.
Avant-Garde receives concessions from the current government as well. 255 million rupees owed to Rakna Arakshaka Lanka Limited slashed. Dallas Allah Perama resigns as district organizer of the SLFP.
මට වගකීමක් තියෙනවා. මගේ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ආත්ම ගරුත්වය වෙනුවෙන් පෙනී.
එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ මැතිවරණ ප්‍රචාරක දැන්වීමක ඉඳලා ඇමරිකා එක්සත් ජනපදයට ගියා. ඒවට නැවත ආරාධනයක් ඇවිල්ලාද කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. ඇමරිකා.
Politicians turn bads due to mistakes committed by the people. A statement from the chairman of the Elections Commission.
මම කියන්නේ දේශපාලඥයෝ හොරුයි කියලා කොහෙව. දේශපාලඥයෝ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම නරකටපත් වෙන්නේ රටේ ජනතාවගේ වරද.
The ceremony to mark the one-year anniversary of the consensual government of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and United National Party was held today.
The ceremony themed A New Nation, One Journey, the first celebration of a 5-year journey, was held at the Sanatja Surya Stadium in Matara. President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe attended the proceedings.
සමහර අය සිහිනම වනවා. සැබෑ නෝන සිහිනම වනවා.
Some are having unrealistic dreams that they can take over the government either tomorrow or the day after. No, you can't take over the government. I very clearly say that just like we will continue on for the next 5 years, we will decide again in 2020 how we will govern from there on. I must also send a clear message to those who destroy the country, those who took away democracy, those who ruined the country for an unlimited amount of time, and those who placed a crown on corruption, thievery and wastage. You will never be allowed to govern the country ever again. They are apparently forming a new party to topple us. Well, let's see about that. On the 8th of January and during the run-up to the election, we exposed their fraud, corrupt activities, undemocratic acts, as well as their indiscipline in governing the country. If they form a party, everything which was left unsaid and which remained a secret will be exposed on that day in a manner that will not only make them unable to form governments but also be unable to even walk the streets. We will make sure that we will create an atmosphere for this. The people of this country have a bright future. To make that future prosperous, we as a government will do everything in our capacity.
තමුන්නාසලට මේ රටේ ජනතාවට හොඳ අනාගතයක් තියෙනවා. ඒ අනාගතය සරුසාර කරන්න අපි ආණ්ඩුවක් විදියට කළ හැකි සියලු වගකීම් සහ යුතුකම් ඉෂ්ට කරනවා.
මේකට විරුද්ධ නැහැ විරුද්ධ වෙන්නේ. ආණ්ඩුවකට
Those who are against this can be against it. After forming a national government, you might be against a few of the decisions taken. But why be completely against it? We need to get together and safeguard this. And what we are safeguarding is our future, not the United National Party, nor the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. If we safeguard the country, we will be safe. This is what we are here to do. We fought all this time. But today, let anyone in the village who wears blue, wear blue. And anyone who wears green, wear green. And anyone who wears red, wear red. There is no problem whatsoever. All I am saying is, let's get together and build the village. Who is against that? Let's get together and build the country. Let's get together and build a future. Let's separate into blue, green and red and contest. Then the party and the country will both be secure.
නිල් කවුල රතු ඇඳගෙන තරග කරමු. පක්ෂත් ආරක්ෂාව රටත් ආරක්ෂා වෙනවා.
The Committee on Public Enterprises or COPE says that the agreements signed between Rakna Arakshaka Lanka Limited and Avantgarde Security Services Private Limited are illegal. The COPE committee recommends that the Defence Secretary provide a report in this regard to them after consulting the Attorney General.
The investigative report compiled by COPE into 19 state enterprises was released recently. The investigation into Rakna Arakshaka Lanka Limited has revealed a number of special details. According to the COPE report, 6 project agreements signed and entered into by Rakna Arakshaka Lanka Limited and Avantgarde Security Services Private Limited were not approved by the Treasury, the Ministry of Defence or its boards of directors. The COPE report states that even though these 6 agreements had been combined to form a single agreement and was signed again with Avantgarde Security Services Private Limited on the 27th of January 2014, this too cannot be accepted as legal. The report reveals that while such an environment existed, on the 20th of October 2015, the current government decided to slash 255 million rupees of the monies owed by Avantgarde Security Services Private Limited to Rakna Arakshaka Lanka Limited. By 2014, the amount owed by Avantgarde Security Services Private Limited to Rakna Arakshaka Lanka Limited was 843 million rupees. The report further states that the distribution of profits between Rakna Arakshaka Lanka Limited and Avantgarde Security Services Private Limited was carried out based on unfair conditions. Even though Rakna Arakshaka Lanka Limited was contracted to receive 12% of the total income in 2012, by 2014, that percentage had reduced to 7.5. As a result, over 75% of the profits of the joint venture was absorbed by Avantgarde Security Services Private Limited.
These were the views expressed by veteran artist Sunil Pereira on a television interview aired recently.
Didn't Sunil Handunethi say that so many complaints have already been lodged, but the Justice Department is not filing any cases? I think only 3 cases have been filed thus far. Individuals such as Sunil Handunethi and Anura Kumara have done their part. Now, if these individuals have done their part and handed over the necessary documents, why aren't the cases not proceeding? Then it is those people in the Justice Ministry that needs to bear responsibility for delays. This is because you and I know that a big fish at the Ministry of Justice, who is a large-scale businessman, went to America and took photographs with the people of Avantgarde. So shouldn't that gentleman kindly resign? I had a lot of respect for him before the elections. Now, of course, I can't stand to see the sight of him. He is still hanging on without resigning. Name someone who has voluntarily resigned. Now compare this situation with other nations. In England, when Cameron lost his mandate, he resigned gracefully. Are there people in this country who have such traits?
ෆේල් වුණා පෙරදුනා මතේ ෆේල් නෑ පෙරදුනා ඉල්ලා අස්සුණා ඒ විදිය ඥාන දින මෙහෙ ඉන්නවද මෙහෙ ඉන්නේ තනි කර ගස් ගෙම්බෝ තනි කර ගස්
Such persons are present in this government as well.
මේ රජෙත් ඉන්නවා මේ රජෙත් ඉන්නවා
Media spokesperson of the National Freedom Front, Mohammed Muzammil, was summoned before the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption.
Mohammed Muzammil appeared before the Bribery Commission this morning in order to provide a statement regarding the recruitment of marketing supervisors to the State Engineering Corporation, which came under the Ministry of Housing and Construction during the previous government. While a number of individuals were summoned before various institutions regarding allegations of fraud and corruption that took place during the previous regime, punishment too was meted out to certain individuals. However, many of these individuals left these hearings with a smile on their faces. Let's have a look at a few of these moments.
The CSN channel says that the sum of 157.5 million rupees, which was confiscated by the government on a court order recently, does not belong to CSN.
Issuing a media release, director of the CSN channel, Rohan Valuita, says that the money does not belong to any director nor shareholder of the company. In the release, Rohan Valuita adds that he was made to understand by officers of the Police Financial Crimes Investigation Division that the money belonged to a different company. Rohan Valuita reiterates neither he nor the channel are involved in the confiscation of this money.
The JVP charges that a plan is being formulated to free the former governor of the central bank from the controversial central bank bond issue. JVP MP Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa made this charge on News First special segment Newsline earlier this evening.
Not only are they delaying the process of apprehending the thieves, the government has included a new culture into this process. Now, when you return a fraction of the goods you stole, the government confiscates those goods and frees you from the crime. I saw Mahinda Rajapaksa claim that if it is proven that he stole even a single rupee, he would slit his throat. 157 million rupees belonging to CSN, which belongs to the Rajapaksas, has now been seized by the government. A plot of land more than an acre in extent in Mathura, worth 57 million rupees, has also been seized by the government. Now we can clearly see that property of the public has been taken over by the government, but the thieves still roam free. There is a deal between the Rajapaksa family and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The Rajapaksa family has taken the responsibility of executing that deal. What is that deal? The deal is to split the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. In return, they have been allowed to roam freely in spite of the thievery committed by them.
But doesn't the JVP have a responsibility to the people? Why doesn't the JVP take to the streets and attempt to make the public aware of this?
Definitely. That is why we are not only reporting these cases of fraud and corruption, but going behind them to see its progress.
Now, if this trend continues, won't those responsible for the central bank bond controversy as well as the coal deal be freed in a similar manner?
This is the same thing that happened with the central bank bond issue. They first sent the governor home and then attempted to sweep the matter under the carpet. That is not all. We have received information that the Prime Minister is trying to take the blame for the mistake and is trying to set the central bank governor free. Even though he may have resigned from the post, there is no way we can forget the public money that was swindled through this crime. Investigations into this matter will continue under COPE. Therefore, we force Parliament to reveal the perpetrators through COPE and make sure that they pay back what they stole. The Gamadda 100-day initiative.
We were born drinking water from these springs. However, today we have to beg for a little water. Those days we urged our children to bathe well. However, today we shout asking them not to finish the water available. We urge them to only wash their face and not their legs.
Those were the concerns of the people of Egodagama Bandarville who have been victimized by the Uma Oe project.
These people who were born with the gift of fresh water aplenty now have to suffer many hardships in order to find a drop of water to drink.
The Newsfirst Gamadda 100-day initiative commenced yet another project in Egodagama Bandarville today with the hope of providing some solace to these helpless people.
With all the natural springs as well as the domestic wells drying up as a result of the Uma Oe project, the only source of water these people had was the Egodagama spring. While the people of 5 Grama Seva divisions come here on a daily basis to fulfill their water needs, this spring too is now in a dilapidated state. Due to these reasons, the Newsfirst Gamadda 100-day initiative took steps to protect the only source of water that these people have.
The audit department of our company is closely monitoring everything that takes place. They normally say that a certain percentage of money received for any project goes astray. They say nearly 35 to 50% is wasted or misused. What we are trying to do is to minimize the cost and reduce the wastage. Thereby, from the leftover money, we will be able to carry out more projects.
Even though these people were born in an area where fresh water was abundant, these people will receive a solution to the water crisis that they currently face very soon.
රජයෙන් කියනවා හොරු කියලා අල්ලනවා කෝ හොරකම් කරපු සල්ලි එක්ක ඔය වගේ අපේ ගමට වතුර ටිකක් දෙන්න ඕන. ඒ කිසිම දෙයකින් අපට කිසිම සහනයක් ලැබුණේ නැහැ.
මේක අපි අවුරුදු දෙකක් තිස්සේ දන්නවන්න පුළුවන් හැමතැනටම දන්වලා කරගන්න බැරි වෙච්ච තැන. ඔබතුමන්ලා අපිට සහයෝගය දක්වලා මේ කරන කාර්යය ඇත්තටම අපි අගය කොට සලසනවා.
As another project under the Newsfirst at the 100-day initiative, steps were taken to commence renovation of the dilapidated main hall of the Mahasen Vidyalaya in Attanakadavala, Polonnaruwa. This project commenced in order to ensure that these innocent children no longer have any fear in their hearts as they gain knowledge. The project is being sponsored by the Buddhist Chief Incumbents Association of Gampaha.
Only 1/3 of the 100 days have passed yet. You will be able to do 100 more projects of this nature for this country. As the Sangha, we believe the generous contribution and dedication of your media network towards the development of the country.
There's a possibility that if the scholarship examination was conducted in this building tomorrow, that a student may pass with flying colours and go on to a better school. It is our dream to make that possibility a reality.
The building where renovations commenced today was constructed over 40 years ago through the intervention of the parents.
I would like to fearlessly say that the Citizen Media Network always ensured that we receive justice. Moreover, we saw in the media large scams in Central Bank. There was a huge scandal when purchasing a coal, but the ministers of our country did not bother to spend the 600,000 rupees for us. The Gamadda 100-day initiative.
Chairman of the Elections Commission Mahinda Deshapriya addressed a forum organised for political party representatives in the Kurunegala district.
If you need to prevent people from taking to the streets, you need to have a good government to solve the issues. There needs to be better local government institutions. There needs to be better political leaders in the villages. Like it or not, no one can get away from politics. There is an opinion in the country that those who engage in politics are rogues. If you say you will contest the polls, your relatives would question your sanity. They would ask if you also have the desire to commit theft, sell moonshine and engage in issuing dirty contracts. Those would be the questions you have to face. I'm not saying that politicians are rogues. Politicians turn bad due to the mistakes made by the people as well. The view of the Elections Commission is that politics is not a bad profession. There is a misconception in the country. That needs to be rid of. Politicians themselves can do that.
The joint opposition convened a media briefing at its party office in Battaramulla today.
මට මීට අවුරුදු 10කට ඉස්සර වෙලා district නායක පද
10 years ago, I was given an appointment as a district leader. At the time, the incumbent president, Maithripala Sirisena, was serving as a party's general secretary and Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was president at the time, was the chairman. So in 2006, exactly 10 years ago, district leaders were appointed. Now within this 1 year and 7 months, two of our organizers, Kanchana and Mahindayapa, have been hunted down. This is unfair, because now there are just 3 SLFP parliamentarians in our district. I have no electorate. I am not an organizer. So I have a responsibility to stand for the self-respect of the people of my district. I don't think it is suitable that I should be in this position like a scarecrow. So I am willingly stepping down from the post of district leader with immediate effect.
අද පටන් මගේ කැමැත්තෙන් මේ රූගඩයක් විදියට පම්බෙක් විදියට මං හිතන්නේ නෑ ඒතර ඉන්දිය සුදුසුයි කියලා. මම මේ මොහොතේ ඉඳලා මගේ දිස්ත්‍රික් නායකත්වයෙන් මම අයින් වෙනවා.
ඔබතුමා මේ ඊයේ අහන්න ලැබෙන්නේ නැත්තේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂයේ
You might have heard the General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party making a rather strong statement yesterday. He said that the party is ready to celebrate its 65th anniversary in a glorious manner with the President seated at the centre and the two former presidents and yourselves on either side as his battalion. Will you be doing so as he said? But I also remember that during the rule of Mahinda Rajapaksa, the photos of his predecessor were taken down. The allegation is that all the photos were taken down by those who are in the opposition now.
ජනාධිපති තුමියගේ ෆොටෝස් ඔක්කොම ගැලුවා කියලා ඒගොල්ලෝ චෝදනා කරනවා මේ විපක්ෂ ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉන්න අය.
This problem cannot be resolved by keeping Mahinda Rajapaksa in a centre and flipping the other chairs. As the national leader of the joint opposition, President Mahinda Rajapaksa has given a very clear response to this. How many more days till the convention? Well, why are you in such a hurry? It is till the 19th, isn't it?
මේ දැන් ඉස්සරහ අතලකුණෙන් ඉල්ලනවා කිව්ව මේ ඇමතුමා අතලකුණෙන්. එතකොට මේ දිනේෂ් මහත්තයා මොකද වෙන්නේ? වීරවංශ මහත්තයා දිනේෂ් මහත්තයා වෙන්නේ මොකද්ද එතකොට?
මේ ඔබතුමාගේ සෞන්ඩ් මේකකින් මහවනා ගාලා සත්‍යය පොලිස් පොදිතුමනි මේ ඔබේ අවධානයට.
Minister Chandima Virakuri, speaking in Colombo, commented on the decision taken by MP Dallas Alaperuma.
This is not the first time that Dallas Alaperuma has resorted to such a measure. He made a similar decision in 2001 when the party was in turmoil. He said that this country is not suitable to live in. He appeared on a campaign advert of the United National Party and left for the United States of America. I am not sure if he has been invited again by the United States of America. They were stripped of the organizer posts. They have not been removed from the party. I personally believe that untainted persons need to be appointed. We are aware of what happened to persons who formed other parties.
Following our views expressed by a few who lost the position of SLFP electorate organizer.
We would like to say that we are ready to commit and sacrifice our lives to take forward and protect this movement, which will form an SLFP government under the leadership of Mahinda Rajapaksa, despite the obstacles that come in our way.
All the political parties have come together today. Only the joint opposition is against the government. Everyone else is intentionally or unintentionally in favour of the government.
We are all gathered here today to chase away this repulsive government. Therefore, we need to commence the battle under the leadership of Mahinda Rajapaksa to drive away this government.
The new SLFP organisers and former local government officers convened a media briefing in Miriswata Gampha today.
President Maithripala Sirisena appointed new organisers. The SLFP is in a new era now because of these appointments. We can see now that in 2020 we can create a brand new government. That is why the President is making all these changes. Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa had made a statement. He said that by making these appointments, President Maithripala Sirisena is destroying the SLFP. I would like to remind everyone at this instance that the UNP is the one entity that is trying to make deals and split the SLFP. It is quite sad to see the way Pavitra Vannayarachi speaks. We saw her back then when she was close to Chandrika Bandaranaike. We saw how they spoke when they got close to some of our leaders. We saw them lamenting at various media briefings during the past few days. It is just sad to see them talk. They should have thought well before they spoke. There are no two leaders in this party. There is only one leader. I would like to remind you that whenever the SLFP tried to build itself with two leaders, it failed. The only reason Mahinda Rajapaksa won the elections and became president is because of the deal he made with the LTTE, or else he would have not become president. He then lost the presidency, lost in Kurunegala as well, and is now trying to claim power through a shortcut.
ඉතින් ඒක ඒගොල්ලන් තේරුම් ගන්න නැතුව තමයි ඡන්ද 200ක් ගන්න බෑ කියලා කියන්නේ කාටද කියන එක අපිට තේරුම් ගන්න බෑ.
A conference on global trends in literacy instructions was held in Colombo today.
Organized by the Room to Lead organization, the conference focused on early grade literacy, global trends in reading, as well as the global standards that are in place in terms of literacy.
Sri Lanka should be proud of its achievements in the field of education. The fact that we have very low dropout rates, 100% primary school enrollment, and education is funded by the government. They're just a few of the many things that we should be thankful to for our policymakers. But as we move in from a low-income country to a middle-income country status, the quality of education needs to change to meet the demands of an evolving society. There have been worrying signs that improved access to education to school has not been accompanied by enhanced quality of education. We know that literacy is the key to a better life, but early grade literacy is perhaps the most valuable asset that is given the least amount of appreciation.
He is the only modern-day Olympian who could have an entire stadium chanting his name.
Usain Bolt's position as the greatest sprinter in the world was confirmed once again on a wet, humid night inside Rio's Olympic Stadium as he took 200 meters gold for the third game in succession.
Usain Bolt, who claimed his 8th Olympic gold medal and tore up the record books once again, was furious at being unable to better his own world record. Well, that's a wrap for Primetime News. Remember, to stay ahead, you need to stay close to News First. For that, you simply need to log on to our website, www.newsfirst.lk. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
I'm Saturang Hapuarachi. Take care and good night.